As our journey to reawaken Château de Purnon continues, this week there is progress everywhere. On our majestic bridge and moat walls, inside the chateau itself, and in the domain's magnificent park. Many of the chateau's ancient stones are too degraded to save, but here on the top band of the dry moat wall, our stonemasons are working to meticulously save every original stone they possibly can.
Well, the restoration of the chateau's magnificent stone walls has been a long and complicated process, with these two walls on the eastern side now nearly fully restored. The far wall you can see behind me was completely dismantled and then completely rebuilt in the restoration process. And as you can see, all the top stones on that wall were replaced with new stones, and what our stonemasons did was consolidate the stones that they could keep from this section of the wall to use here on this section. Every single stone here is a restored stone that has been reclaimed from either this wall or the far wall of Purnon's magnificent moat. You saw at the start of the video our stonemasons working meticulously to stave these stones and restore these stones and piece them back together so they will last for generations to come. And then their final touch was to actually do a lime wash, and there is still the final grouting to go, and then this wall and the entire eastern side of the moat walls will be completely restored. But meanwhile this week the stonemasons working on Purnon's spectacular bridge made enormous progress in the restoration of the bridge. Let's see what they've been up to this week. Well, at the rate our stonemasons are going, I am completely confident that they will have finished the bridge before the wedding. You can see all around me, these are the pavers that have been removed, cleaned and ready to put back down. Over here are the granite steps that have been removed, cleaned and ready to put back down. And over here are the replacement stones that are being used to replace either side of the bridge, which we haven't actually shown you a lot of work of, but if you have a look behind me, you can see the magnificent work that has been taking place as the restoration of the sides of the bridge happen at the same time as the central section of the bridge. Let's go and have a look up there. You may remember from last week's video we discussed the top band of stones here on the bridge and their terrible condition that they were in, and the decision was made that we were not going to be able to keep these stones. They were falling apart when our stonemasons were trying to do grafts with them, so the decision was made to completely replace these stones. Interestingly though, these stones are not the same length. Every single stone is different. So over the last couple of months our stonemasons have been recutting, reshaping the new stones for these two bands on the bridge to the exact same dimensions as the original stones. And when our stonemasons removed these stones, they were carefully marked, and as you can see, the stones that arrived just yesterday ready to go in place are all carefully marked. Our stonemasons have put them in place, and next week is going to be a huge week as these stones get put back into place. In other news here on the bridge, as our stonemasons were clearing all the gravel and dirt off the bridge that was sitting underneath the pavers, they uncovered two large vaults. These vaults are the vaulted ceilings of two rooms that sit below the bridge. And if you would like to discover these two rooms and the purpose of these two rooms, jump over to Patreon or sign up to be a YouTube member, because this week Tim takes you on a tour of these two rooms. In other progress this week, my father and I have been laying a lot of wallpaper up on the first floor to try and get some rooms finished in time for the wedding. So let's have a look at what we got up to. Little recap for you. We are on the first floor of the chateau. These two small rooms sit behind the single bedroom. What we're doing is with the back room, we are making it into a washroom. There will be a toilet and a basin, and the front room is going to be a dressing room. We've already started working in here. The plumbing has gone in. Some of the wallpaper backing paper has gone up. We have done the painting, but we have a lot to do. And these rooms need to be finished before the wedding because this is where Tim's mother is going to be. So what's left to do? Replaster, undercoat, paint the ceilings. We haven't finished hanging the wallpaper backing paper. That needs to be finished. Then we can start hanging the wallpaper. My father is here, and so I'm going to make use of that time with him to hang the wallpaper here. I'm going to set up scaffolding in both rooms so that I can be efficient with my time and work on both rooms at the same time. And first job is the ceilings. So finally we are ready to lay the wallpaper in the first of the two rooms, which is the dressing room. And this is an original wallpaper that was discovered here at the Château and is part of the Purnon Papers collection. Do you want to head up to the second floor and see it in situ? And that might help us work out how we're going to hang it.
Okay.
All right, let's go have a look at that.
Okay, so this is the room.
Yeah, so this is the original wallpaper that inspired this wallpaper. So the scale is slightly different. It's smaller, the original is smaller. Normally I'm really excited about hanging wallpaper, but today I've got to say I'm terribly nervous because I've seen how crooked the walls are.
There's a challenge in the corners.
Yeah. Here they've used the one piece to go around the corner.
Yep.
And you can see how fragile the paper becomes
it'll lift
because
off.
of it.
There's nothing to hold it in the corner.
Yeah.
And it'll just buckle out.
And look, it's super messy.
Yeah. And because of the angle, if the two walls won't be the same, the offset, you won't be able to match it entirely.
Yeah.
Keep going down. That's it there.
Yep, that's it there.
Actually, so the easiest one to line up is that flower.
Yeah, the
'cause
stem
it's
of
the
that
stem of that flower.
Stem of that flower.
All right, let's give it a
Okay,
go.
I'll have a look.
How much is that, Dad?
It's too much. It's 50
Yeah.
millimetres.
So it's 5 centimetres wider at the bottom. So we are hanging the hardest piece first,
Well, we are.
but I think that's a good
I
idea.
think you have to.
Well, we have made great progress up here on the first floor in the transformation of these 2 small rooms from dark, dingy, uninviting rooms to really beautiful, bright, fresh rooms. But we are not finished yet. Where did we get to this week? Well, we got nearly all of the wallpaper hung. It was incredibly complex. There are no straight walls in these rooms, and so that took a lot of work to get the wallpaper to sit beautifully into all the corners and to be straight. But we are absolutely thrilled with the result. The beautiful wallpaper that we selected here is the August wallpaper from the Purnon Papers collection by Farrow Ball. It is so beautiful in this space. It's light, it's bright, it's fresh, and it's really feminine without being overly girly, and it has completely transformed these rooms. So a big week passed in these rooms and another big week ahead, and next week we should be able to reveal the final result of these 2 beautiful rooms. And remember, we had 105 rooms to restore when we arrived here. We are under 100, and if that's not great progress, I don't know what is. Dad, I have a reward for you for all the wallpaper hanging that you've been doing.
Don't tell me I'm finally going to get to play with one of the robots, am
You
I?
are. And in fact, it's not only a mowing robot, this one sweeps as well.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought we might set it up in front of the Comma West, the Western Outbuilding, where it got cut late because we had the wildflowers growing.
In front of the bees?
Yeah, and there's heaps of cuttings there, so
Right.
we might set it to work sweeping.
Okay, let's
Should
go
we do
to
it?
Why not?
Cool, exciting. Okay, so what we need to do is create a map.
Yep,
So you just go create a map,
yep.
start mapping task area, manual mapping, got it.
Start mapping a task area.
Go for it.
How close in do you want him?
Yeah, super close. Maybe drive him like he's not drunk.
It's all right, I noticed a few mapping errors like that in yours.
Oh, there may have been. go, leave him working. Well, it has been a huge week of wedding preparations, but we are not done yet because behind me is Château de Purnon's magnificent park, and it's here that the reception for our wedding is going to be. Fingers crossed, weather permitting, but there is still a lot of work to do to get the park ready, and the first thing is that it needs to be cut and the hay baled, and that is done every year by a local farmer, and he has just arrived. So we're not happy. It's Sunday afternoon. Section of our wall has fallen. The farmer came at the end of last week to cut our fields, cut the prairie behind the chateau. The only way he can get in with his equipment to bale the hay is to use this gate, which is blocked by this fallen wall.
Well, there's always something unexpected, but the good thing is it gives us a chance to clean this wall anyway, which we had to do.
Yeah.
So I think I'll whip a snip in front of the gate, and then we've got to chop a few of these branches off to give better access to his equipment.
Yeah.
And then once that's cleared, we'll put one of the tarps down on the cut side of it, the other side of the gate.
Yeah, because the gate opens in two sections.
Yeah, and then we can start moving the stones in, get them out of the way, and then we can start clearing the wall here. It's a big task.
Yeah.
Clearing the wall in this direction, but it's a thing we should have done probably a little bit earlier.
Yeah, well.
And it's not the nicest view coming along the street here. So.
Okay, and we can't repair this right now because it needs to be cleared for him tomorrow. Well, the gate needs to be open tomorrow, so we'll tackle repairing it another time.
Day. But you can see when it last was repaired, it was repaired with cement.
It's had cement.
And of course that's short term a quick fix, but in the long term it's terrible for the wall because the cement doesn't breathe, and in fact I'm sure that's why this section here has collapsed, because that repair was not done very well when it was done, and so when it is fixed, we can do a far better job than that.
Yeah, we need to find a solution to sort of restore this whole section of the wall anyway. And it's starting to rain. Amazing, what a great Sunday.
Let's get to work.